Now are you listening me or not? All right. Now today I will talk about that topic which you make previous doctors. Endocrine system. The endocrine system is a collection of the glands. It is a collection of the glands. These glands secrete the hormones or chemical messengers. These hormones regulate the body growth and development, and also the other functions, maybe of sex functional or reproductive function, also concern both our sleep and mood. So it is a very important part. This system, the important part, the glands are secreting the hormones. The hormones are the chemical secretions which are released from the body, and they pass immediately through the blood circulation. As the organs secrete the hormones, these hormones release into the bloodstream, and through the bloodstream they pass throughout the body and regulate the function of concerning cells. So see, the glands are secreting the hormones, one group of cells. From the one group of cells, the hormones release into the bloodstream, and through the bloodstream over the cells, group of cells which are placed distant cells, every part of the body. So we can see that the hormones are very important for our normal growth of the body and development. These different group of cells or the glands, normally they are, you can see in the diagram, in the part of the brain, there are present the two glands. One is the pineal gland. The pineal gland is present in the wall of the third ventricle, that we will show you while dissection of the brain. So pineal gland, one, and besides that another is the pituitary gland. You will see the cranial cavity, skull cap, the inner part of the skull. When we remove the skull cap and see the inner part of the skull, we find the skull is formed by number of the bones. The one bone is a wing shape, that is called sphenoid bone. On the roof of the sphenoid bone, there is a groove or depressed area. That depressed area is called sella turcica. Located in the sella turcica or in the groove at the roof of sphenoid bone, the gland is located, and that is the pituitary gland. All right. Now come to the part of the neck region. In the neck region, there is present the thyroid glands. Thyroid glands, they are located on each side of the thyroid cartilage. On the posterior surface of the thyroid glands, there are the small glands are present. These are the parathyroid glands. So thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, you can see here, this is the part of thyroid cartilage, and lying over them, this is the thyroid glands. The thymus gland, in the part of the initial development or in the child, this thymus gland is well developed. This is the only lymphoid organ which is well developed in the early stages or in the childhood. That is the thymus. Then come to the lower part. You can see this is the part of kidney. lying above the kidney, these are the suprarenal glands, also named as adrenal glands. And in the anterior part, just in the half of the part of it is located in the duodenum. The duodenum is C-shaped curve, and lying in the C-shaped curve, the head of the gland is located, and partly it is lying below the stomach. This is the pancreas. Then we see the part of the gonads. In the gonads, ovaries, and they are present. So another part is endocrine glands is gonads, both male and female. Besides all these, the rest of the parts, also the glands is including the placenta. Placenta is also including the part of glands. So all these glands, they are secreting the hormones. And as I told you, the hormones are released into the bloodstream. And through the bloodstream, they are circulating to different parts of the body. But there is a one gland which is not secreting the hormone directly into the bloodstream. What happens? No doubt, hormone, it is secreting the hormone. And that hormones, first of all, collected in the glands, stored in the glands, and on requirement of the body, they release the hormone in the bloodstream. So my point is this, that it differs from the other endocrine glands, that other endocrine glands, they secrete the hormone and the hormone immediately released into the bloodstream. But thyroid gland is the only gland, after releasing the hormone, first of all, it stores the hormone in itself, and on requirement of the body, it releases the hormone in the bloodstream. So don't be confused that hormone is not coming in bloodstream. Definitely it comes in the bloodstream, but directly on requirement. So you can also say that thyroid gland, after releasing the hormone, stores the hormone in itself. Now we will talk one by one these glands. First of all, I want to talk about the pituitary gland, because pituitary gland is the master gland of the endocrine system. The pituitary gland, it divides into two parts, anterior lobe and posterior lobe, and one part is intermediate part of the pituitary gland. The anterior lobe and posterior lobe of the pituitary gland, look this one. This is the anterior lobe of pituitary gland, this is the posterior lobe of pituitary gland, and between them there is present intermediate gland. The two lobes of pituitary glands differs from each other on developmental and functional aspects. Means they develop differently and their functions also different. So the anterior lobe of pituitary gland, that is this part, it develops from the ectodermal outgrowth. This ectodermal outgrowth from stomodium, that is the first initial stage of oral cavity. From the stomodial, the outgrowth of ectoderm grows upwards. Try to understand. It develops from stomodium. The outgrowth of ectoderm from the stomodium grows upwards and lying on the front of buccopharyngeal membrane. All right. This part, this outgrowth of ectoderm, which is going upwards and backwards, is named as Rethke's pouch. Rathekes pouch, Rathkes, Rathekes pouch. This Rathke pouch, it gives development to intermediate part of pituitary gland. Should I repeat the spelling? Rathkes, Rathke's pouch. So this Rathke pouch, madam, yes girl, you want to check me? Why are you trying to understand? You can read the book later on. What you will check me? I don't like such a... You can read the book later on. Why don't you understand? So Rathke pouch, it gives development the anterior lobe of pituitary gland and intermediate cleft. The second part, posterior lobe of pituitary gland. This posterior lobe of pituitary gland, it develops from the down growth. Listen, one is going from stomodium to upward, another is coming from upward, from the floor of third ventricle. From the floor of third ventricle, this grows downwards, enter into the infundibulum part of pituitary gland and comes on the posterior surface and comes closer to the part of anterior lobe. And this posterior lobe, which is coming from downgrowth from the floor of third ventricle, coming close to the anterior lobe and attached to the posterior surface of anterior lobe. This gives rise development to the posterior lobe of pituitary gland. So we can say how they differ developmentally. Anterior lobe is from ectodermal origin. Posterior lobe is neuroectodermal origin. After this development of the pituitary gland is named as master gland. Point is that both the lobes of the glands, they are secreting the hormones which regulate the other endocrine glands. But this pituitary gland acting or releasing hormones on the feedback mechanism of hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, as in the introductory class, I told you that is the part of diencephalon. Telencephalon forming the cerebrum and this part, and diencephalon is forming the thalamus, hypothalamus, like that. So this hypothalamus, by the feedback mechanism, it controls the pituitary gland. Hypothalamus, it gives the two type of order. One is the releasing hormone, another is inhibiting. If are more in required level, that pituitary gland is and by receiving this information and stop secreting the hormones. So by this feedback mechanism, hypothalamus controls or regulates the releasing or inhibiting hormones from pituitary gland. Okay. Now let's see the hormones secreted by pituitary gland. First of all, These look the hormones coming from posterior lobe. Posterior lobe is secreting the two type of hormones. Yes, and one is the hormone oxytocin. Oxytocin hormone, it controls the activity of uterus and mammary glands. That is the hormone oxytocin. How it controls the uterus at the time of partition, delivery time, it contracts the uterus, and during the feeding of the child, it contracts the mammary gland to release the hormone, the milk from the breast. That is the action of oxytocin. The second hormone secreted by posterior lobe of pituitary gland is ADH, antidiuretic hormone. This antidiuretic hormone, that is, it protects the body from water loss. That means dehydration. It protects the body from water loss. How? It stimulates the kidney to absorb the more water. And as the kidney absorbing more water, naturally the body is not undergoes dehydration. Now see the hormones coming from anterior lobe of pituitary gland. From the anterior lobe of pituitary gland, the hormones first is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. The thyroid stimulating hormone acting over the thyroid gland and controls the activities of thyroid gland. Stimulates means increase the activity of thyroid gland. Another is ACTH, hormone adrenocorticotropic hormone. This adrenocorticotropic hormone is acting over the suprarenal gland. Then comes the hormone FSH, follicular stimulating hormone. The follicular stimulating hormone acting over the gonads. In the female, it is forming the part of ovary, and in the male, the forming the hormone sperms. That is FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, which is acting over the gonads both in male and female. Simultaneously, it is also secreting the LH, hormone LH, luteinizing hormone. The luteinizing hormone again acting over the gonads, and they are responsible for the secretion of testosterone in male, and for that they are responsible for secondary sexual characters, development of secondary sexual characters. Then come to the part beside this, the anterior lobe of pituitary gland also secreting the hormone prolactin. The hormone is responsible for the milk secretion. Prolactin hormone responsible for the milk secretion from the breast. Then one more hormone, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. The melanocyte stimulating hormone is responsible for the pigmentation of melanin, that is for coloration of the skin. So these are the various hormones coming from the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. Next, the pituitary gland, we come to the part of thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is secreting the hormone, the T3, T4, thyroid stimulating hormones, T3 and T4, and third is the hormone calcitonin. Hormone calcitonin. The hormone T3, T4 both are combinedly act and responsible for the metabolism of the body. The third hormone calcitonin. The hormone calcitonin decrease the calcium level in the body. Listen, it decrease the calcium level in the body. So there must be some regulation. The other hormone which should increase the calcium level, that is parathyroid hormone. So parathyroid glands, which are located posterior to the thyroid gland, they are two in number, superior and inferior, and these are secreting the hormone, parathormone, PTH, and this parathormone increase the calcium level of the body. Now point is, all right, you are right. You measure the calcium level. Now my next question is, how they increase the calcium level? क्या calcium level डाल देती क्या? So listen, what they do, they stimulate the bones, and there is the osteoclast cells of the bone which are stimulated, and these osteoclast cells, they start releasing the part of calcium from the bone, and that calcium level increase the blood stream of the body, and thus they regulate the activities. After this, we come to the part of pancreas. The pancreas is another endocrine gland located on the concavity of the duodenum, lying the head of pancreas. The rest of the part is tail is passing towards the left side and lying just below the stomach. The pancreas having that type of cells, alpha cells. The alpha cells are secreting the glucagon, hormone glucagon, which increase the glucose level. The second cells in pancreas are the beta cells. These beta cells secreting the hormone insulin, and this insulin is decrease the glucose level in the body. In this way, they regulate the glucose level in the body. The diabetic mellitus patient, their insulin secretions are affected, maybe decrease or very much decrease, and due to less secretion of insulin, the blood glucose level is increased, and such patients are called diabetic mellitus. All right. After seeing the pancreas, I come to the part of suprarenal gland. This one. The suprarenal gland consisting of two parts, cortex part and medullary part. Again, both the part of the glands are developing differently. The cortex part of the gland developed from the mesoderm. Cortex part of the gland is developed from the mesoderm, while the medullary part is neuroectoderm or ectodermal in origin. They are secreting the hormones also different. On the cortex part, the hormone is, first is glucocorticoids. The hormone glucocorticoids, they divide these protein and fats, break down the proteins and fats, and releasing the all glucose level. That is the action of hormone glucocorticoids. So glucocorticoids, which is coming from the cortex part of suprarenal gland, break down the protein and fats or lipids and release the part of glucose level. Second hormone is mineralocorticoids. The mineralocorticoids hormone, it controls the minerals level in the body. That is the mineralocorticoids. The third hormone, androgen, they part of the cortex part of suprarenal gland, they secrete very low level of hormone testosterone. Then come to the part of gonads. As I have told you previously, the gonads, they are secreting the hormone by the testosterone, and in the case of female, the progesterone in the early stages, which is required for the development of the uterine glands and these, and also the another hormone, estrogen, which is responsible for secondary sexual characters. All right. Then comes the, have you read circadian rhythm in physiology? The hormone which is control or regulate the circadian rhythm, that is the melatonin, hormone melatonin, which is coming from the pineal gland. That is this part. All right. Then one more, placenta. I included the placenta in the endocrine glands. The placenta, during the development of pregnancy, it secretes the hormone progesterone, and that hormone progesterone helps in relax the uterus. That relax the uterus during the pregnancy period. Besides this, it also secretes the growth hormone during the pregnancy stage. So these are the various hormones which are secreted by endocrine glands. All right. You have read in your previous classes also. So I can say this is just revision, and some of the parts which you have not read in your previous classes, which I had discussed. All right. Now look, what will be the effect if the hormones are, look this diagram. This is the pituitary glands. As to of hypothalamus. One thing you should clear, which you had not read in the previous classes. All right, anterior lobe is having the hormones, secreting the hormones directly. But in posterior lobe of pituitary gland, the hormones are not secreted here. Rather, this posterior lobe of pituitary gland, it is having the axons coming from the hypothalamus. So axon terminals are present in the posterior lobe of pituitary gland, and these axon terminals are secreting these two, oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone. This diagram is showing the development of pituitary gland. This is the part coming from the hypothalamus, down growth, and this is the part which is the outgrowth from the ectoderm of stomodium going up, and this is called Rathke's pouch. So this is the Rathke's pouch, and this is the outgrowth coming from hypothalamus. Both are combined together. Look this diagram. This is Rathke's pouch, this is downgrowth from the hypothalamus, and both are joined here and separating by this intermediate cleft. So this is the complete part development of pituitary gland. Look, thyroid gland. The thyroid gland, they are located in front of the trachea. This is a tube-like structure having the cartilages in front called trachea, and lying on the trachea, this is the thyroid gland. This is the histological diagram of the thyroid gland. And look, you are seeing the yellowish mass here. These are called the follicle, thyroid follicle. Thyroid follicle are filled up with this yellowish mass. That is the thyroid secretion. So thyroid secretions are collected in this thyroid follicle. Look here. This is the posterior surface of thyroid gland having the parathyroid gland. And these are the suprarenal glands, which are located on the superior pole of kidney, both the kidneys. This is the part of pancreas, transverse section of the pancreas. You can see here, pancreas is a mixed gland. I will tell you in the story again. It is a mixed gland. As you can see in the diagram, two types of the cells are visible. Look, the outer cells, serous acini. Outer cells, you are seeing luminous cells. They are secreting the pancreatic juices. Yes? I don't think that you will attend now. I will not allow. Go! There is a certain limit. And another point is, when you are in the college, in other classes, why are you late? If you are coming from the home, I can give you 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And that man is coming after half an hour. What is necessary? Okay, look here. So these are the serous acini. The serous acini, they are secreting the pancreatic juices. And look another diagram here. You are seeing here the two types of cells. Purple colored cells, these are the beta cells. And another is brown colored cells, alpha cells. You have noticed some persons are very tall. Those are called gigantism. Gigantism. Now what happens in the gigantism? Listen carefully. There is abnormal growth in long bones. Listen carefully. There is abnormal growth in long bones before the fusion of epiphysis. That means the epiphysis part is not fused, and before that fusion of the epiphysis, there is abnormal growth the long bones. So person will develop very height, and this is called gigantism. I hope you all are knowing the example. I need not to say. Just reverse to this. One is the gigantism, which is developed abnormal growth of the long bones before the fusion of epiphysis. All right, epiphysis is fused, but some person are having the very high growth of the head region, hands, feet. Such persons are called acromegaly. And this outgrowth of the head, hands or feet resulting after the fusion of epiphysis. So big difference. In gigantism, the growth is before the fusion of epiphysis, and in acromegaly, the growth is after the fusion of epiphysis. One is before the fusion of epiphysis, another is after the fusion of epiphysis. And in acromegaly, there is enlarged size of the head, hands, feet, not other parts. Then another condition, Cushing syndrome. Cushing syndrome, Cushing. In Cushing syndrome, there is abnormal deposition of fats, excessive deposition of fats over the face, neck region, and also maybe over the trunk. Such condition is called Cushing syndrome, or Cushing syndrome is resulting due to excessive secretion of hormone ACTH. Adrenocorticotropic hormone is releasing very much. And gigantism is due to excessive secretion of the growth hormone. Then the person, if there is, in some person or patient, you will notice that thyroid glands are very enlarged. No doubt they are not suffering from any disease, but the gland is very enlarged. So benign enlargement of the thyroid gland, that is called goiter. Goiter. They are not suffering from any disease, but there is the benign enlargement of thyroid gland. So without diagnosis, don't confuse is hyperthyroidism or hypo. No. That is benign enlargement of thyroid gland. That is called goiter. Then the condition in which the thyroid gland is very actively act, that is hyperthyroidism, and it is called thyrotoxicosis. Thyrotoxicosis, that is hyperthyroidism. And in some adults, there is hypothyroidism, and the condition is called mixed edema. Mixed edema in adults, MYXODEMA. Mixed edema in the adults. If the person is suffering from hypothyroidism in adult, we say it mixed edema. If it is in child, it is called cretinism. REATINISM. Cretinism. In the child, the hypothyroidism is called cretinism, and in adult it is called mixed edema. If hyperthyroidism, that is called thyrotoxicosis. Then there is other, and this is autoimmune disease. And this autoimmune disease, what happened that the thymus gland is abnormally, I didn't tell you about thymus gland. The thymus gland, it is well developed gland in the part of fetal life. The function of thymus gland is it collects the T cells from the red bone marrow. It collects the immature T cells from the red bone marrow and trains them how to destroy the infection. And that is well developed in the childhood. So naturally it is very important role. It collects the immature T cells from the red bone marrow and trains them how to destroy the foreign particles or the infection. Autoimmune disease is a disease in which the body itself starts destroying their own cells. So, in myasthenia gravis is a autoimmune disease. Myasthenia gravis is a autoimmune disease of thymus gland. And what happens that in myasthenia gravis, the person muscles are very weak. Contraction of the muscles is also weak, and person is feeling very tiredness to do very small work. That is called myasthenia gravis. So all are the various diseases I had told you which are affected if their endocrine glands are normally not acting. We will teach you these in details when we come to the corresponding part. Okay? Any problem? And listen boys, from Monday onwards, there will be the last class tomorrow of general anatomy of the special senses. And from Monday onwards, we will start the upper limb. Not only the gross anatomy. You understand the gross anatomy? That means upper limb. We will teach you gross anatomy in the regional parts. First of all, upper limb, then we come to either thorax part or then head and neck and brain. That is the first paper part. But we might change it. Upper limb, first of all, we will teach you the limbs. Upper limb, then lower limb. Alright. So this is the gross anatomy. Another class will be of developmental anatomy, embryology. And third lecture will be of histology. So from Monday onwards, we will start these three type of lectures. So it is my advice, read the topic which has been taught you in the class and discuss among the friends. Don't take any doubts in your mind. Then you will secure the very good marks. Because, alright, you come in the medical. That is good thing. But nowadays the competition is very hard. MBBS is not sufficient. After doing MBBS, you will appear in the pre-PG exam. Alright, you will done PG, either in MD or MS. Still, you have to appear in another exam, MCH or DM. So my dear, I am not depressing you. The part is at the time of study you read seriously. At the time of enjoyment, enjoy thoroughly. Clear your mind. Enjoy करना है, enjoy करिए. By that time, don't think about the teaching. And while the time of reading, be serious. Not think about the movies or anything else. So if you will study like this, you will not feel any problem. अब बोलिए क्या बोलना है? थायराइड ग्लैंड है ना, थायराइड ग्लैंड के अंदर देखिए मैडम, मेरा कहने का मतलब नहीं समझे आप। और ऑर्गन्स तो क्या है कि जैसे ही हार्मोन सीक्रेट होगा डायरेक्टली ब्लड स्ट्रीम आ गया। थायराइड ग्लैंड के अंदर हार्मोन सीक्रेट हो रहा है और कलेक्ट उसी में हो रहा है, डायरेक्ट नहीं आ रहा। जब बॉडी की रिक्वायरमेंट होगी तभी ब्लड में आएगा, उससे पहले वो अपने आप में स्टोर करके रखता है। दिखाता ना मैं डायग्राम आपको, ये देखिए, ये जो दिख रहे हैं फॉलिकल्स है, थायराइड ग्लैंड का सेक्शन काटा हुआ। इन फॉलिकल्स के अंदर ये येलो कलर के जो दिख रहा है आपको, दैट इज द थायराइड सीक्रेशन हार्मोन, बोथ T3 T4, समझ रहे हो? जब बॉडी को रिक्वायरमेंट होगी तब ये रिलीज कर देगा। और जाएगा कैसे बॉडी के अंदर? उसी के थ्रू, ब्लड स्ट्रीम के थ्रू, समझ रहे हो? इसलिए thyroid gland differs from other endocrine glands. Other endocrine glands, as they produce the hormone pass directly into the bloodstream. It is not stored there in the gland. Hypothalamus is not secreting. Hypothalamus से जो एक्सॉन्स आ रहे हैं, देखिए मैडम, हाइपोथैलेमस का रोल है इनको कंट्रोल करना। हाइपोथैलेमस कहाँ होता है? ब्रेन में, समझ रहे हो? हाइपोथैलेमस होता है ब्रेन के अंदर। हाइपोथैलेमस रिसीविंग द स्टिमुलस, मेरे को इस पार्ट में हार्मोन की जरूरत है, सो दी सेंसेशन पास इनटू द हाइपोथैलेमस। हाइपोथैलेमस रेस्पॉन्ड पिट्यूटरी that release the hormone, and if the hormone is increased, level is increased in the blood, that also stimulus pass to the hypothalamus. Then hypothalamus release the inhibitory hormones that will check the pituitary gland, stop the secretion of the hormone. तो hypothalamus तो रेगुलेट कर रहा है, समझ रहे हो? हार्मोन्स हाइपोथैलेमस के जो एक्सॉन है वो पोस्टीरियर लोबा पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड के अंदर आ गए, वहां पे आके दो हार्मोन सीक्रेट करेंगे, ऑक्सीटोसिन और एडीएस, नथिंग मोर।